All right, Shalom. I'm the brother Arak from GMS Atlanta, back with another Godspeed and Lord willing is edifying. But before I get started, would like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach Kodash. Also double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Peace, safety, much love, and blessing to the Akim across the four corners of the earth that are pushing out this truth and sincerity and putting their lives on the line to do so. I want to say Shalom to you, brothers. And I'm just going to get right into the scriptures. This is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. It says, For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scripture of Salakia, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right, and I wanted to get into that precept first because the things that are written were written for our learning. So in the kingdom of heaven, you know, Lord willing, we are of the elect. How would we want our story to be written, you know, for those coming after us to learn and take heed? All right, and how will we do that? By following the men that came before us in their path and the legacy that they left behind for us, okay, and live our life as an example, you know, live our life in example of those men. All right, so when our story is written for our generations, we could be recognized as renowned and profound men that did the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai throughout, you know, Babylon the Great, which is here in America. All right, the valley of the shadow of death. All right, so what kind of story do you want to be written for yourself, man? And that's the question you should be asking yourself daily, and carry yourself according. Okay. This is Sirach chapter 44. So, and I'm just going to read about, you know, the works of the men that were before us, you know, just as a blueprint, you know. This is Sirach chapter 44, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begot us. The Lord have wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning, such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding, and declaring prophecy. And that's what we do, man, you know, to the best of our ability, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We want our story to be written as such too. When men speak of Karatazar, like the brother behind the camera, or the brother Kashakwala, any of these brothers, man, we want it to be a good report, you know, when the generations after us read it, you know. We don't want to have a story as a 2/3 man that was just down here partying and bullshitting. You know, they won't have a story. They'll be forgotten. Okay, those men will be as if they never lived before. All right, but us, Lord willing, we are those men. We have to have our things written according to how our forefathers' story were. The same men that we're reading about 2,000 plus years ago. All right. It says, verse 4, leaders of the people by their counsel and by their knowledge of learning, meet for the people wise, eloquent in their instructions. All right. I'm gonna skip down Sirach 44 and 8. There be of them that have left a name behind them, that their praises might be reported. Verse 9, and some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them. We don't want to be in that number, man. We want to be in the number of great men of power, man, you know, that did wondrous things, man, you know, throughout Babylon the Great, you know, throughout Jacob's trouble. All right. Skipping down verse 19, it says, Abraham was a great father of many people, and glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. All right. Because he was, hey, when you read the story of Abraham, he was he went on a mission thinking he was gonna sacrifice his only son in Isaac, man. You know, he went all the way down to the last drop of the bucket, if you will, man, to the point where he thought he was actually gonna have to sacrifice his son Isaac. He didn't ask, you know, the Most High questions or question him why he had to do this or do that. He just did it, you know, and was found faithful. And through that, the Lord made a covenant, man, that his seed would live on forever, okay? And these are just examples, man, that we read for our learning, okay? Verse 21, it says, therefore he assured him an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed, and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seeds as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land. Verse 22, with Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake the blessing of all men and the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him a heritage, and divided his portion among the 12 tribes did he part them. All right, so those were just some examples of great men that walked before us, that laid down the groundwork and the path in which we followed, you know, starting with our head apostles on down, man, to the least of the flock. You know, these are men's examples that we follow. So when our story is written in the manner in which these men were written, all right, and not those that have a bad stain on their name, man. Let's take Judas Iscariot for an example. When a person hear that name, there's nothing good associated with it, even though he was one of the 12. But when you think of his name, is negatively associated with him selling out Yahushua, man, and you don't want to be that person, all right? So with that, you know, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ruach. Double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone, and Lord willing, this was edifying and also exhorting. Shalom.